Shalom and welcome to Revelation. We are in chapter 18. Revelation chapter 18, starting in verse 1. And after these things, I saw another angel who came down from heaven, who had great authority, and the earth was shining from his glory. And he cried out with a loud voice, Babylon the great has fallen, and has become a dwelling for demons and a garrison for all unclean and hateful spirits, because she has mixed the wine of her fornication for all the nations and the kings of the earth have fornicated with her, and the merchants of the earth have grown rich from the power of her madness. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out from within her, my people, so that you do not share in her sin, so that you do not receive of her injuries, because her sins have reached up to heaven, and God has remembered her wicked deeds. Render to her even as also she has rendered, and double to her double for her works in the cup that she mixed with her double. About what she glorified herself was arrogant. Likewise, give her torment and sorrow, because in her heart she said, I sit as a queen, and I am not a widow, and I will see no sorrow. Because of this, in one day injuries will come on her, death and sorrow and famine, and she will be burned by fire, because the Lord is mighty, who has judged her. And the kings of the earth will cry and wail over her, those who fornicated with her and were arrogant when they see the smoke of her burning, while standing away from her out of fear of her torment. And they will say, Woe, woe, woe to me, the great city, Babylon, the powerful city, because in 1 hour her judgment has come. And the businessmen of the earth will cry and will mourn over her, and there is no one who will buy their merchandise anymore. The merchandise of gold and of silver and of precious stones and of pearls and of fine linen and of purple clothing and silk of scarlet and every aromatic wood and fairy vessels of ivory and every vessel of precious wood and brass and iron and marble and cinnamon and perfumes and myrrh and incense and wine and oil and fine flour and sheep and horses and chariots and the bodies and souls of men. And your fruit, the desire of your soul, has gone away from you, and everything luxurious and celebrated has gone away from you, and you will not see them anymore, nor find them. The businessmen of these things who were made rich by her will stand away from her out of fear of her torment, crying and wailing and saying, Woe, woe to the great city that was clothed with fine linen and purple and scarlet cloths, that were gilded with gold and precious stones and pearls, because in 1 hour wealth like this is laid waste, and all the masters of ships and all those traveling to places in ships And the sailors and all those who do business by sea stood a distance away, and they cried over it as they were wandering the smoke of 18 again. And they cried over it as they were watching the smoke of its burning and saying, what city is like the great city? And they threw dust on their heads and cried out, crying and wailing and saying, woe, woe to the great city, and one in which those who had ships in the sea became rich from her greatness. For in 1 hour she is devastated. Exalt over her, O heaven and holy ones, and apostles and prophets, because God has judged your judgment on her. And one of the mighty angels took a huge stone like a millstone and threw it into the sea and said, so with violence Babylon, the great city, will be thrown down, and you will find it any more, and the sound of the harp and of the shofar and of all kinds of music and trumpets will not be heard in you any more, and the light of the lamp will not be seen in you any more, and the voice of the bridegroom and the voice of the bride will not be heard in you any more, because your merchants were the great ones of the earth, because you seduced all the nations with your enchantment, and the blood of the prophets and the holy ones who were killed on the earth was found in her. Woe, woe, woe. Father, have mercy on your people. Woe to the ones that expose them in the wrong way. Woe to the ones that abuse them. And woe to your wrath and judgment on those who bring disaster unto your people and your land. Amen.